What's going on, everybody? Joe Wagner. I wanted to create a video to follow up with my blog that went out this week, the cost of quitting going for financial freedom via merchant sales. Do right from my ice bath, because why the hell not? What better way to get your mind clear? All right, if you're thinking about quitting merchant sales, in my first year, I thought about quitting merchant sales. I almost did. I sat down with my boy, Anthony Smith, who got me in the business, and he asked me, if you quit, what's your life gonna look like in a couple of years? What are you gonna do? You're gonna go back to waiting tables? You're gonna be a bartender? You're here for financial freedom. What does your life look like if you quit? How does that happen? And are you just gonna go back to the same old, same old? He stopped me from quitting. I probably had this conversation, I remember, at least twice, if not 3 times. So if you want to stop because it's hard, I get it. That's normal. Maybe you're not making as much money as you want to. Maybe you're not making as much money as you need to. But I want to ask you the same thing. If you quit, what are you going to do? How does that help you get to financial freedom quicker? How does that help you get to financial freedom, period? And let's think about the life that is going to be if you succeed at this versus the life if you quit and fall for that bullshit and quit. Okay, if you make it, what does your life look like? Would you be a contributor? Are there people in the world that need help that you would like to help? Could be the homeless person on the corner, could be the church that you go to, could be an organization that builds homes for poor people in another country or right here in the US. Could be you would want to give $10,000 a month to the Yellow Ribbon Fund that helps wounded veterans come back from war and adjust with their injuries. Like, how many people would you want to give to? If you succeed at this, would you be a contributor and help people? If you would, then you quitting is letting them down. It's letting the people down that you can help. What would your family life look like if you have a family or want one in the future? Do you want to be the kind of parent that works the 9 to 5 just to make ends meet? Or do you want to be the kind of parent that is there to pick your kids up from school, to drop them off at school, to be at their recitals? Even the little things that aren't the biggest deal in the world, you want to be at those? That takes time freedom a lot of the time. If you quit on this, you're letting them down. You are letting your future family or your existing family down of that parent that you want to be if you had time and money freedom. How about for yourself? What kind of time would you invest into the hobbies, the things that you love? The traveling, with or without your wife or your husband or your kids, even if it was solo. What kind of hobbies? Maybe you want to kiteboard. Maybe you want to get better at golfing. Maybe you just want to sit at the beach and read books. Maybe that's your thing. Whatever your thing is, if you had time freedom and money freedom, again, if you succeed at this, what does your life look like? If you fall for it and quit, you're failing yourself. And there's one last group I really want to hit on. It's the people that believe in you. There are people out there that believe in you, whether you know it or not, whether they're watching you on social media or whether you're directly talking to them, whether it's a family member you haven't talked to in a long time or it's somebody you talk to frequently, whether it's your best friend or somebody that may be a stranger but still is rooting for you. There are people that believe in you. And when you quit, you let them down too. You can't quit in this vehicle that creates financial freedom that is going to unlock all of those things that are good for the world, that are good for your family, and that are good for you. You can't quit on that. If you've been at this for 3 months and you haven't signed your first deal, one of my favorite students was that exact story. Kevin, out of Rhode Island, 3 months, 0 production, called me every day from the field, needed advice. I ran into this, I ran into that. I don't know how he made it 3 months with no production. I flew him down to Florida, and that week that I invited him down, he went and signed his first 3-4 deals, went home and started killing it. Something switched, okay, but he went 3 months with no deal. So you might be in that position. Folks, this will change your life. You can be a better person to the world, to your family, and to yourself. Now that's if you make it. What does your life look like if you quit? If you listen to this little bitch in your head that's saying, this is hard, I don't want to do this, I want some guaranteed money, I made no money the last 2 weeks, I can't keep doing this. got to scratch that. You got to remember the big dream. You got to remember that you're going to be a contributor to the world. You're going to be the greatest parent ever, committing all that time to them, and you're going to be able to work on yourself all at the same time, and so much more that I'm not even touching on. Folks, quitting is not an option. The cost of quitting in this industry and the life, what are you going to do? Go back to selling cars, selling insurance, going back to some job where you literally aren't even in sales. You just clock in, clock out, jump in the rat race till you die. Folks, you need to make this happen. The cost is far greater than most people realize. Keep pushing through. Here's how you overcome it. Plug in. Okay? Don't do this alone. You've got a support team that wants you to win. They want to hear from you 3, 4, 5 times a day, especially with merchants. They need to know what you're running into. Get on the webinars. I'm doing a webinar on Wednesday. We are going to talk about this. I'm going to do some Q&A. Plug in with winners. Plug in with people that have done it, and plug in with people that are doing it, and plug in with the people that want you to succeed. That is how you're going to overcome your mind trying to convince you to get out of this game. Do not get out of this game. You'll regret it the rest of your life. It may not be right away. A year goes by, 2 years goes by. You're in a hard position and you see somebody like me who never quit and keeps growing in life. In 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're going to realize, shit, I'd be done by now. I should not have ever quit, because even though it was hard, there's no way 3, 4, 5 years later, I wouldn't have signed enough accounts to be free. Nobody. Guys, don't quit. Joe Wagner, I invite you to that webinar on Wednesday. It is 11 o'clock East Coast time. I just wanted to put a video out to touch on the blog that I sent out on Sunday. Never fucking quit. The world will be a better place if you don't. You'll have a better family if you don't. You'll be a better individual if you don't. And you'll just fucking feel better about yourself when you remember how hard it was and you toughed it out. Joe Wagner here. Time to jump out of this ice bath. We'll see you at the top.